Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Blip Pod. We're on episode 6 now. This is our review of Onward and then a couple other news things, and we'll take a Marvel quiz at the end. I'm Nolan.
I'm Joey.
And I'm Sean.
And Sean's our guest host for this week as we talk about Onward and Marvel and stuff.
Yeah, Sean's the one who did our logo. We
Yes.
finally got him on. Great logo. Loved it a lot.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. You know, when I was making it, it took a while, like Joey was saying, but man, you get to that certain point and you're like, wow, this is it. Like, I remember I texted him like at 1 a.m. I was like, I just finished it, but I had to send this to you because I was so excited. Like,
No, I know what you mean. No, I know exactly what you mean. It's that point where you're just like, oh, I finally got it. Okay, let's roll with
the
it.
missing piece of the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's going to be our episode. Okay, news. What do we got for news this week?
Some speculations about the new Spider-Man 3 movie in the MCU.
I'm happy they got him back.
Who isn't?
Yeah, no, I know. But I mean, I'm happy they got him back, and I don't know where that stands with all these side movies. Because they've got the Kraven the Hunter one that they're making, the Morbius one that might be in the MCU, Venom 2, which might be in the MCU, Venom 1, which might be retconned into the MCU.
Well, it's just like what we've been talking about before, how those are all Sony's movies, and they're just going to be... they could reference MCU, but they're not going to be in the MCU.
Yeah.
That's why I think maybe even Doctor Strange will touch up on that house in a different multiverse. So even if they ever in the future want to bring it to the MCU, they can within the multiverse, but as of right now, they could put in a different universe so that they know it's not part of it, but could possibly eventually go to it.
Well, yeah, Kevin Feige is the only one that said Spider-Man has the ability or the talent to cross multiverses cross different dimensions. So I think they'll utilize that. I think it's definitely part of his master plan. You know, they go out to the woods and plan the MCU for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And so the greater Spider-Verse is definitely in there somewhere.
I think, and I mentioned this earlier, I would be more happy if they let the Tom Holland one do his own thing for a little bit before they do Spider-Verse of any sort.
Kevin Feige did say a while ago that he had 9 solo Spider-Man movies planned out. He wanted to break them up in 3 separate parts, like the first 3 high school, second 3 in college, and the third 3 are him as an adult. So I don't know if they're still gonna do that plan because I know if he's iffy about the deal. So I was excited when I heard that because I thought that all these Spider-Man things we're gonna get, and that's also probably great development for his character too.
But basically, the only news we've gotten, because there's nothing because they haven't gone into production, it's just that it's called Serenity Now, which is the Seinfeld reference.
Well, they said all their first titles for all the Spider-Man movies were references from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
So
I have no idea what
I don't know why, but
that's a cool thought.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, it is great that they got him back. And I mean, when he was ripped away from it, I think the whole world shook.
The world blew up.
Yeah, and Sony,
more than the coronavirus.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm more scared to, not see Spider-Man in a movie than, get the coronavirus. I'd rather die than not see Tom Holland on screen. That's
amazing.
On the record. But, yeah, I mean, after they saw that, they definitely recognized that he's a force to be meddled with. Nobody else wants to see a different Spider-Man on the screen. So they're not going to make that mistake again and pull him out, especially now that both parties are on good terms.
Yeah. Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah, but they were saying, in the video we just watched, they were saying how Osborn might be like a shadow villain like Palpatine and all that.
People have been talking about this. I don't think they're going to, for big bags for the future, I don't think they're going to pull from the Sony pool. I think if they're going to stake like the next 10 years on a villain, it's going to be someone that they're never going to lose.
Yeah, just like how they were saying he could possibly be the benefactor from Ant-Man 2.
Yeah.
But they also said that they think that was actually, what's his name from Fantastic Four?
Oh, Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think that would be a lot better to be Dr. Doom.
It would make more sense.
And I think that would be a lot cooler. Especially Osborn is such a known villain for Spider-Man. I say just put him out there for him.
Also, we've already gotten, in both movie series before this one, we've already got an Osborn.
Yeah.
So I don't super mind if they kind of leave him off for a while. Because the Willem Dafoe is the Green Goblin. The first one is fantastic.
Unbeatable, honestly.
The guy is a Goblin man, amazingly so. So, and then in the
He's also a fish man.
Yes,
he was an Aquaman.
He was an Aquaman. But yeah, there's barely any information. So it's especially for the next phase, they're keeping it's so under wraps that there's nothing we can really go into it.
Speculations.
Even until Black Widow, we don't really have anything to go on. The second bit of news is a little more substantial. Christian Bale is he was cast officially a month ago or so, but now he's officially the main villain of Thor.
Oh, so he is cast.
Yeah, he's officially cast.
Oh, I did not know that.
And he is the villain.
Because I know they were looking for a role for him for years. Like, they met with him all the time to see if something fit his personality, but I guess they finally found one.
I don't know what he's going to be. There's a lot of options.
So you don't think he's going to be Beta Ray Bill?
I don't think they're going to have Beta Ray Bill as the main villain, because then...
I guess the main villain might not be, but he could pop up as like a little villain at first until the end he switches.
I think also they're not going to put a main actor in that, because I think they'd want that character to stick around for a while, and if they get someone who they already have to pay the big bucks in movie one, they're going to have to pay them, millions and millions of dollars to just stay on.
True.
I mean, that's what, RDJ was for all the time playing Iron Man. I mean, that paycheck just kept getting bigger. And I mean, he made more than all the actors on Endgame combined. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and he started out, because obviously his career just kind of flopped, he started out not getting paid too much in the beginning and then got better from there. Yeah. So if they start Christian Bale off with something like that, where they start paying him high, they're going to run on the money.
Yeah, he only got paid a few million, super low. I can't even buy a house.
But, I mean, the thing is, I totally see where you're coming from, but it's not like he's an asset that they really need vitally. The MCU is something that stands on its own now, 10 years under its belt. So really, he should feel honored to be a part of this. And that's how most people feel nowadays when they get cast in a Marvel movie.
I think, have you ever seen the video of Christian Bale reacting to the set of Terminator, whatever Terminator one he's on?
I have not seen that.
That guy, I love Christian Bale. He's a fantastic actor. I think he's a really good guy. He is... When stuff gets in his way, that guy goes full, 2-100. Yeah. Like a light guy crossed in front of, a scene once when they were filming, and he just rips him to shreds, calls him, a disgrace, screams at him in, a thick Welsh accent, and tells him to get off or he's going to fucking fire him, excuse my French, and he just rips into him. So I think that he is the one person that they probably had to beg to be in a Marvel movie as opposed to the other way around. Mm-hmm. That guy is intense.
I never knew that.
If you ever see that video, it is fantastic.
I think I'm not gonna be a light guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm quitting the film industry. I'm not going into it.
Live like Christian Bale. No, but I just recently saw Ford versus Ferrari with Matt Damon and Christian Bale. Christian Bale did an amazing job. Yeah, he's such a amazing job. And both of them, their chemistry is fantastic. But I think he really doesn't need a good actor to get a good performance out of, his counterpart. Yeah. So, I mean, he just brings a lot to every film that he's in. Even in the Batman trilogy for Nolan.
Fantastic.
Phenomenal. I loved every last one of those movies. And he's just such a good Batman. Like a landslide from, what Keaton was doing in 1989.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. And it's just... So I don't know what he's going to be, honestly. I think they could either do a Thor villain, but there's not too many good ones. Mm-hmm. So I think they'll pull from somewhere else. Which means that there's no idea what he's going to do.
Yeah. But that's what, filmmaking is all about. Waiting in anticipation to see what comes about.
I don't know.
It's gambling.
Yeah, and it basically is. You see, at one point there was a gambling website that did the stakes for who is going to get the Batman, the next Batman role. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was so bad. If you gambled on the website, you lost all your money. It was Chris Evans at 1 to 50.
Why?
I was like, he's actively in the MCU at this time. It was,
Just like how I saw everyone would think a petition to have Danny DeVito be the next Wolverine. They have concept art. I think they should do an SNL skit or just a small 1 to 2 minute video with just Danny DeVito as Wolverine just for a joke and just him running through the woods just killing everybody.
Danny DeVito would do that alone. I think he would.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Someone should have done that with him.
Always Sunny Baby.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah. We were just watching that before we came to watch the movie.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's great. But I mean, out of the new Batman cast and the new movie that's coming, I never in a million years would have thought it'd been Robert Pattinson that landed that role.
I think I'm excited for Robert.
Yeah, I was not pleased when I heard that, but now I think I warmed up to it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, ever since I saw the film test for when they initially revealed
Yeah.
his suit. It's like, wow, okay, he actually fills into it pretty well. But it could be the same case with, like Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight. And nobody thought he would do a good job. Like, you got the guy from a romance movie to play the Joker? Are you serious? But best Joker of all time, if you ask most people.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think people have faith in the next Batman movie. It looks more realistic, so I don't mind.
You see the Batmobile?
Yes.
Something else.
Yeah, we were talking about that last week. It was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys want to move on to Onward?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So we just came out of Onward. We just saw it.
Mm-hmm.
The next Pixar movie.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it a lot.
Yeah, I genuinely enjoyed it. It was a great time. I think the best part about it was how we said earlier that it was only an hour and 30 minutes, but it felt much longer.
It felt like a Lord of the Rings length movie.
Yeah, it
absolutely.
felt like a long time.
Disclaimer, this is spoilers. And there are things to spoil in this movie, which I didn't expect there to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, spoiler warning from here on out.
Twists and turns and all that.
Exactly. I think, okay, so my initial thought with coming out of the movie is that they got the perfect cast for this movie.
Oh, yeah, everyone knew that already coming in.
But so when I originally saw the cast, I was like, oh, they're just getting the Marvel actors to get the Marvel actors, if that makes sense.
Just to get people to watch it.
Bingo. But I think that it was actually because Chris Pratt and Tom Holland were perfect for those roles.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Well, I mean, like, I haven't seen Chris Pratt play that kind of role in a while. I mean, most people know him as Star-Lord nowadays.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you see a little bit of his quirkiness in those movies, but not as much as his older days of acting, like Parks and Recreation, where he's Andy Dwyer. I mean, he's a nut in that show. He's fantastic.
I love that show.
He's, like, into the whole rock band and, he's like sort of the grunge kind of guy, and he's like an older guy, but he always acts like he's young and hip, and that's what he was sort of playing in this as well.
Yeah.
And he plays it phenomenally. I mean, like you said, perfect cast. Nobody else could do that.
Yeah, no. It's going to be hard to hear that voice for a while without thinking of this movie. Which is weird because he's been in so much stuff before this.
He's got good range.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know. What were your guys' first takeaways?
Well, let's just say, like, before, you both know I already tried predicting the ending of this movie. Mm-hmm. Like, going in, I thought it was just going to be a straightaway cut movie that you just already know what's going to happen. Just
from watching the trailers. Yeah.
And it definitely did not meet my expectations and what I thought would happen, and I'm happy it didn't, because that was probably the best part about it was the ending and how they took a different turn, which was kind of a risk, but it was a risk that paid off.
I did not expect this one to be super emotional.
Yeah.
Because the trailers were like, the emotion that I expect from it was kid who's never seen his dad sees his dad, which is emotional enough, and that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I did not expect, and this is a spoiler, when Chris Pratt was talking about, when Barley was talking about like seeing his dad hooked up to the wires and tubes and then not being able to say goodbye to him running out, I was like, that is a lot for a kid's movie.
Dark stuff.
It was very realistic for a movie with like elves in it. I was like, damn.
Magic.
Yeah. I was a real punch in the gut.
And they're also talking about really relatable topics. I mean, myself and a lot of other people have seen, loved ones in that sort of condition or been in that same situation. And, that's gut-wrenching stuff, for people who have been through it or not have been through it, and you can sympathize with them. But like you were saying, they've really complex ideas, and the storytelling was fantastic. And I went into the movie thinking it was more going to be a visual spectacle kind of thing. They're, got a sorcerer's staff, a lot of cool magic stuff. And yeah, they utilized that, but the storytelling was really where it shined.
Yeah.
So
the beginning of the movie, I kind of felt a little iffy, because I thought it was going to go like down that typical Disney Pixar path where they just been pressuring how much he wanted to meet his dad, but he never did in the beginning. Mm-hmm. That I thought the ending, I'm like, oh man, this is just going to be like a corny, generic ending, because it felt like they were building it up so much just to make everyone cry at the end, just to make them cry. Yeah. But then they took a turn like three-quarters into the movie. They took a different turn where I'm like, wow, that actually is better. I'm actually okay they did that in the beginning now, and it didn't lead up to what I expected. I thought that was great.
You know what I think it is? It's the difference between Disney Animation Studios and Pixar. Where Disney Animation Studios, they're building, and then pay off. Whereas Pixar is like, they actually write interesting stories that have kind of twists and turns. And then, because even though they're produced by the same company, but you can tell the Pixar movie because whatever you're expecting isn't what the ending is. Like even with Toy Story 4, like I was relatively sure they were going to die in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Or like either that or have a happy ending. Did not expect
Toy Story
them.
3?
No, Toy Story 4. I didn't expect them to split up and Woody just leave.
Yeah,
forever.
I did
You know
not
what
expect
I mean?
that. Yeah, that was something else. I thought he was going to stay in,
Well, I mean, I
forever.
predicted that from the opening scene of the box, but
Yeah. But like going into when I was going into the movie before I saw any of it, I had my assumption of what it would be based on the trailers, and then it totally kind of left hook at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I think this movie does that very well for a movie that should be by the numbers.
Yeah, I totally agree. And building off what both of you guys said, I mean, where this movie really shines is subverting expectations. I mean, so you like you were saying, you're thinking it's a classic Disney movie. You already know what the outcome is in your head. But I mean, all those times where something changed and something unexpected happened were probably the best parts of the movie. I mean, like when they're actually facing like a gelatinous cube that you think is like, fake for the entire movie. It's like, oh God, it's real. Or like, I mean, at the end was heart-wrenching. I mean, they do this very long quest so this one kid can talk, have a laugh with his dad. That's all he ever wanted. And he just gets to look at him. Doesn't even get to speak to him.
From afar, yeah.
He doesn't even get acknowledgement, like, except from words from his brother. It's like, yeah, give him a hug. I mean, that's it. Heart-wrenching.
That was, the ending was pretty bad.
yeah. So
In its sense, it was very good.
No, it was very
good.
but
Emotional-wise, I was like, ow.
It was not like fulfilling. Yeah, you just didn't get what you wanted from the end because all you want to see is like you're sitting there for an hour and a half, like, oh, I hope this kid gets to meet his dad. Nope. No.
Well, that's
he
what
sort of did with his brother.
Yeah, well, that's
dad is
the
his
like
brother.
the good reveal that I like is he realized he did do all the stuff that he wanted to do with his dad, which was his brother, who basically was a role
And raised
model
him,
and a father figure to him. That's why it's kind of like a realization where it doesn't matter who it is as long as you have someone to do it. Because that's why he let his brother at the end say goodbye, because he didn't have a role model, the male role model like his dad or older brother to help him through his growing up, because he was the one for his brother. So that's why I thought that was a great choice to do.
I think this ranks in my top tier of Pixar movies. Like,
Well, that's
weirdly
one of the
enough,
better ones.
Yeah, people like it a bunch, and other reviews are saying it's great. People say it's not the best Pixar movie, and it's not the best, but I think it is up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Well, that's why we gotta
We're gonna
rank
have to
all our.
watch it
We're
again.
gonna have to rank all our favorite
Yeah.
Pixar movies in another episode.
Yeah, no. I think, though, this will be up there. Also, it's just creative. It's not a sequel. It's not based on anything. It's a new thing that we haven't seen in a while. I like that. Yeah, exactly. I appreciate that.
For sure. And I mean, like, I know we're pretty much all fans of the CW
Yeah.
shows, right? And I mean, you have seasons and seasons and seasons of these shows, but some of the characters don't grow in all the episodes that they're in. And with the character growth that we saw from all the characters, like, in these an hour and a half of screen time was really well thought out. And I mean, well, you have the kid, who's starting out like, I just want to meet my dad, and then it turns into like a guy who can hold his own, like didn't have friends, but now he's like got the confidence to back up everything, and he employs the skills that his brother teaches him, and it really benefits him.
That's what I actually really like, because you watching the trailers and from the start of the movie, you just think it's a story about him trying to find his father and a nice emotional punch with that, with meeting his father, but it actually is about just a kid who's feeling like lonely and like can't express the way he feels.
Yeah.
It's basically a journey of him learning how to gain confidence.
Yeah.
That's basically what the story is. Like, you don't even know that's what it's about until the end when you realize it is, or like 3/4 into it, you realize, hey, this is actually not what the movie is about.
Yeah,
it's about
different thing.
there's a whole different thing. That's why I think they did a really great job with that.
I did like the twist at the end when they do crows or the Ravens Point. So it occurred to me like halfway through the actual Ravens Point that they were all just going in the same direction. Mm-hmm. And then at the end when they ended up back at the school, they literally were just going in a huge circle the entire time. And I was like, I like that. That was something I didn't expect that I liked.
I really liked it because like Joey was saying, he was searching for something this entire time, and the way I looked at it was like he had a missing piece, a hole of himself, right? And he's looking to go on this quest or Onward's journey to get that piece and make himself whole again. But at the end of the movie, we realized he had it the entire time. He just didn't realize it. So it's a magical movie moment right there.
It is.
But the saddest part of the entire movie is when the car.
the
car died.
Man, I love that
when
sequence.
the car died.
It occurred to me it was kind of sad because the entire beginning of the movie, the only thing that Barkley wanted was to show his dad the car.
Mm-hmm.
And then he blew it up so his brother could meet his dad. And I was like, when I thought about it for a second, I was like, oh, that's kind of nice. And I kind of wish they touched on that more.
Yeah. And well, it's also
Sadly.
like, I don't know if have you played the Witcher games?
Very briefly.
But Geralt, he has his horse Roach,
Yeah.
and the thing is, like, he talks to it like because he's always by himself, and so what I'm getting at is like the van in itself is a character, and so when he was playing Rise of Valhalla and that thing slams into a mountain, that's a death of a character right there. So that's why it was so emotionally wrenching.
And also another cool thing I thought they did in this movie, which I kind of felt like was odd in the beginning, is when he's explaining to Ian, the older brother. What's the older brother's name again? Chris Pratt's character. Barkley. When Barkley was talking to Ian about what he used to do with Dad, how he said he used to just like tap on his feet a lot. I'm like, that's like a weird thing to say. Do like I don't know why they put that in. And then once he brings the father there and he's only a bottom half, that tapping on the feet was the only way he can know that those are his sons he's with. So that's why I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty clever.
That was very good.
Yeah.
That was a good.
And even though it seems like he didn't meet his dad, I mean, like, he did the whole foot tap thing to identify which son was which. Mm-hmm. So in a way, he still did meet him, even if he didn't get to speak.
Yeah. I'll have to think about it for a little bit for this. This is most Pixar movies.
Gotta sleep on it.
Yeah, you gotta sleep on it and then maybe watch it a second time before I like fully realize all my thoughts. Because there's also because it's animation that they can do. There's so much just stuff visually.
Oh my god, the tiniest little things. Everybody misses it on the first watch, and they're like, oh my god, how did I not realize that? Because
Pixar puts Easter eggs for their next movie in their previous one.
Mm-hmm.
So which means somewhere in here there's a Soul Easter egg too.
Did anybody ever catch anything related to Pizza Planet? Because usually every Pixar movie has a Pizza Planet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, except for Incredibles, I think.
I think Incredibles was the only one that didn't.
Yeah.
The second Incredibles, or both of them.
First one.
The first
one has one, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Because the guy gets arrested, the pizza guy.
Oh yeah.
I can't.
I didn't keep my eye out for it.
There was just so much happening, and there was so much color for like 80% of the movie. It was just like explosions of color, and it was probably it's probably going to be like some medieval looking thing that has like the old Pizza Planet on it in the back.
The art direction of that movie was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Like you were saying, those bright, vibrant colors really gave the city life. But it's also, that interesting aspect where you're taking the abnormal and putting it in like a normal scenario, like these animals and mythic creatures living in like a suburban or urban area. So it's interesting to see. It
sort of reminded me of, especially for a brief second, they did the city, which are like all the skyscrapers still have like the castle tops on them.
Yeah.
Which I thought was funny. It sort of reminded me of Black Panther, where they do the paint around the city, and it's like the super modernized version of like ancient African culture would have been if it was unaffected by like Western development. That kind of reminded me of that same thing. They're like, oh, this is really cool world building, where it's like, oh, if like medieval times just got technology, this is what it would look like.
Yeah, also, like, from watching the trailer, you already know that they're living in a world where there used to be magic and there isn't anymore.
Yeah.
And I didn't actually think that was the way they were going to get rid of magic, was because magic was actually harder to use than the technology now. Because everyone's always saying, oh my god, I can't figure out, like, especially older people, I can't figure out this technology. I don't want to do this. I want to stay back to the older ways. But in this one, they want to go back. They want to switch to the newer ways with technology and not use the old stuff.
I did think it was funny when the Wizard's Apprentice was just standing at the light switch going click click. He's like, it's so easy. Yeah. I don't know if that's just fantastic.
Yeah, their one-liners are really awesome.
I think this was the funniest Pixar movie, which people have been saying.
Really funny.
Yeah, it's definitely up there.
Yeah, and I think that's just probably because of who they had. Everyone in it was.
I think Incredibles 2 has. I think I left a lot more, not a lot more, but more in Incredibles 2 than Onward.
I feel like Incredibles 2 had one or two really funny moments like the squirting out of the nose thing, or like the kids. You know what I mean? Like,
I forgot.
There was
about
like
that.
exactly. There's like
Jack Check in general.
Exactly. There were like a couple super funny moments, whereas this one was kind of more generally fun. Like everyone was just kind of generally funnier and taking themselves way less seriously.
True, but I think Incredibles definitely did have stronger laugh out loud moments than Onward, but they're both still really funny. So
yeah,
but it also like makes you feel what the main character is feeling. Like when he was inviting those kids to his birthday party, man, I was cringing so hard. That was really hard to watch.
That was funny.
Shit, that's what I'm like.
Yeah,
especially because they weren't even being. It's not like in a typical movie.
Yeah, they were like bullies. Were like, I don't want. You're like loser. I don't want to hang out with you. Like they were actually interested.
They were like kept following him. They're like, yeah, your birthday party. He's like, no, it's not anymore. And they're like, but what about the party?
That like explains how like scared he is to express himself and get out there, and like how he doesn't have any confidence. Even when someone is accepting him, he still can't express himself. You know, that's why I think his character development paid out in the end.
You know what? More thinking about this more, I think this is going to be very close to my top of my Pixar list.
Yeah,
top 5
could be close.
Yeah, definitely in top 5, but it might be up there. I love WALL-E with like a burning passion.
WALL-E's great.
WALL-E's fantastic.
It's been a long time since I've seen that one.
Eva.
Yeah, no.
WALL-E.
But
well, if you see our logo.
Exactly. Yeah. Case in point. But so I think this is going to be up there. I really like the brother dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
You don't
that's
see
why.
that.
That's why I said that like earlier with the Frozen thing.
Yeah.
I feel like it's almost like a Frozen thing with like the sisterly love they did the brotherly love, but I think this executed that better than Frozen. Well, I wouldn't say like executed better. I just felt
executed differently.
Yeah, it's differently, but I think it made a bigger punch. You know,
that one still had to be a Disney princess movie. This one could just be a brothers movie.
You're right. A Disney princess movie is a genre unto itself.
Exactly. Like they still have to, even if they're trying to like break out of the convention and not have like the love interest, they still have to have a love interest. They still have to have a princess.
A couple of songs.
Exactly. Yeah. Whereas this could be whatever the heck it wants.
And also, I feel like they pushed it, and it was like out in the open. Frozen, it was out in the open. Like you knew that was the theme from the start, and they kept on punching you with that the entire time.
Yeah.
But Onward, it was so subtle. You didn't even know that's what you were seeing until like it just gets revealed. Like, oh my god, that. Like, this is what I've been watching the entire time. Like, that's why I thought it was so much more effective. While Frozen, you just know that's what you're seeing the entire time. You just know that it's the entire movie from start to finish. They're pounding it out.
It's honestly, it's for younger audiences.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's a Pixar movie and it's animated, they know that the audience level is going to be more adults than kids, as opposed to, like, a Frozen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No songs, so.
Yeah, no songs.
Except for, I like when the mom's doing her Zumba dances, whatever, and then she goes to fight the monster doing her Zumba dance. They put her song in.
I like the mom a lot.
Yeah.
I actually liked when the Chris Pratt's character was like wrestling her, and she just body slams him into the ground, and it's like, if you would have raised that kid, it'd make total sense that you could beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, she's a warrior. Don't mess with mom.
I didn't even think she was gonna be in the movie that much. I didn't know she was gonna be like part of the plot in the adventure.
Yeah. I didn't think either.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna be in the beginning, and they were just
dragon. That was just cool.
Made out of stone.
Yeah.
I did like the minute they were like, where is it? And then they looked at the dragon. I'm like, that thing's gonna come to life and it's gonna try to eat him. That was the one thing where I'm like, even 10 minutes before it happened, I'm like, I know what this is gonna be.
And it's always the little things. I mean, like, moment 1 where the dragon makes its face the old like emblem from the high school.
Yeah,
and it's like got the happy dragon face. And then the second moment where it's like it gets angry and it like detaches its eyebrows and makes a stone angry face. Hilarious.
It's great.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good.
Pixar has a certain sense of humor and they play it really well in every single product they make.
A very good visual sense of humor, not just written.
Absolutely.
Which is a testament to just how much effort they put into everything in a shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's all my basic thoughts for Onward. Like, I could go on for 10 hours, but that's what I got for now.
And
you guys have any closing thoughts?
Ranking out of 10?
I would give this... I don't know, what about you guys?
I give it a solid 9.
Yeah, I'm like a 9.5.
I can't think of anything wrong with this movie.
There really isn't.
I don't have any critiques.
The only thing why I wouldn't really give it the 10 out of 10 because I guess if watching it a second time, it would be a 10 out of 10 just because of the beginning, because I felt like they were pounding out too much of trying to make you feel like, oh, this is gonna be about the dad, like pounding out like, oh, he misses dad a lot in the beginning, but then once the ending, like halfway through or 3/4, like then you realize, oh no, it's not. That's why I feel like watching a second time when you already know that, it's like a 10 out of 10. But watching the first time, you're just like, in the beginning, you're like, yeah, we get it, you know?
Well, you're absolutely right, because, like, you know, they peg you with those things beaten into your head. It's like, oh, this kid really wants to see his dad, dad. Like, you know, always showing the pictures and things that he's hanging on his wall in his room. But just to make the ending that much more, you know, effective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You watch the whole... You know what? It does occur to me, the only critique I would have, and it's barely anything, is the step-dad? Not the stepdad. The mom's...
The centaur.
The mom's boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
It was clear, like... At the end of the movie, you realize that he was doing what was right.
He had luscious locks.
Mm-hmm. He had his luscious locks. That was strange. But it was like at the end of the movie, you realize that he was just trying to be a good guy through the entire thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like that he was technically a main character because he was in a considerable number of scenes. Mm-hmm. But they could have had him care about the boys more. Because when he pulled up and he was like, "Get out of the van," and then they just drive away from him, I was expecting him to be on their side more than he was. Or like explain that it was just to be helping the mom, that's why he was pulling them over. But that was my only critique, is that he didn't have enough screen time for the kind of arc that he went through.
Well, yeah, he felt like he was just trying to suck up and be on the good side of the mom instead of actually caring about the kids.
And then it reveals, the reveal, I guess, is that he actually does. Mm-hmm. He just doesn't know how to execute it.
Well, it's even like when they were in the confrontation with the two police that they pulled him over. Yeah. It's like, you know, parenting is hard. You know, he's trying his best. He's new at it. And, you know, that's for any stepfather.
The only thing about this movie I hate is his laugh.
I loved...
I don't even know how to do it. I don't know how to do it.
But... He's like flapping his upper lip. Yeah, but I would say 9.5.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, the only reason I'm not giving it a 10 is because I like some of the other Pixar movies more. I just can't pinpoint why.
You don't find anything wrong in this movie, but you...
I know that in my head, those are subjectively slightly better movies.
Yeah.
Picking a favorite Pixar movie is hard. They got a large library.
And they're all good for completely different reasons.
It's true, and they're, you know, even though Pixar has, it's sort of like a Marvel movie, because you know what you're gonna get when you see a Pixar movie, but they're still different from each other.
Yeah.
You just know you're gonna get an emotional punch somewhere.
Somewhere in the thing, they're gonna be like, "Ha!
Gotcha."
We're gonna make the adults cry too.
I gotcha. Here, hold this knife for me. Puts it in their chest.
What? I never... That is basically the Pixar logo, is a knife that you're not expecting. It's like, oh, this looks nice. Ah!
Well, literally the opening Pixar thing with the lamp, it had like some darker music to it. I'm like, oh, we're watching...
But then the darker music cut out when the movie started, too. It was like, bum, bum, bum.
I think it was just like I think it just meant it for like emotional reasons.
Yeah, no, they just were just bringing you into that whole fantasy aspect.
Yeah.
And I love the way they closed the movie where, you know, he was like sort of starting off reciting the same thing that his dad was saying in the beginning.
Also, the pictures too. I forgot about this, but that was actually really cool.
In the beginning when it's showing the pictures of the family, like the mom and dad together, the mom and dad with the older brother, and then then just the mom and the two kids, how he never had his dad. Mm-hmm. And it was sad because you're like, oh, he never got to meet his dad. But they did the same sequence with the same photos. But like he realized it was okay though, you know, because it was like it didn't seem sad because it was literally the same. Nothing changed, the same exact pictures, but you just know that it's different. You know?
That's just good storytelling.
Yeah,
no, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got for this one.
Yeah,
great movie. Go watch it.
Definitely,
highly recommend.
Absolutely.
This is Nolan. I'm just adding this little ending on. We have been. This review was supposed to come on a while ago, so sorry for the delay. We had, on top of the Corona pandemic, my computer absolutely crapped the bed and died. So this is our Onward review that we're getting out a little late, so sorry for anyone who's tuning in. And now we're going to release it, we are going to release it if you're listening to this, in concurrence with the Disney Plus release. So... because that comes out April 3rd, so we're releasing it, should be the Wednesday before April 3rd, the April 1st. Oh yeah, I can do calendars. So thank you guys for listening and tuning in. Thanks to Joey and Sean for both being on this episode. Check us out on the Blip Pod on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube. Soon we're going to be starting our own YouTube channel that's not just the podcast, called the Blip Boys. So it should be going up sooner rather than later. And we're going to be doing stuff like DC, Marvel, Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. If it's nerdy, you name it, we got it. So we'll be doing theory videos and news videos and little breakdowns and Easter eggs and such. So if you are up for that, go check out the Blip Boys. The Blip Boys. BOYS, on YouTube in the next 2 weeks. And we're going to, on Instagram, if you follow us, we are going to alert people to that. So thanks for tuning in, and hope you are thriving in the coronavirus outbreak.